Thank you so much. And thank you for the very nice introduction that you gave. And I should first of all thank Nest Bharat for giving me this opportunity to talk to young women, to young ladies. And as you said, that one of the objectives of Nest Bharat is to know about India. So today's topic goes with that, which is which is an introduction to the Indian scriptures. So I would like to thank Nest Bharat and Sharvari Kulkarni for giving me this opportunity. So the topic for today is the Hindu religious literature, an introduction to Hindu religious literature. लेकिन जब हम किसी दूसरी भाषा में बात करते हैं तो हमें जो बोलना है वो नहीं बोल पाते, तो अपनी भाषा में अगर हमें बताना है तो हम कहेंगे कि ये हिंदू धार्मिक साहित्य है। और ये धार्मिक साहित्य क्या है, इसके पहले हम एक बार देखते हैं कि ये तीनों शब्दों का मतलब क्या है। हिंदू, धर्म और साहित्य, इन तीनों शब्दों का मतलब क्या है। तो धर्म जो है ये यू कैन कॉल इट एज मानव धर्म या कुल धर्म, अपने फैमिली में जो चलता आ रहा है, अपने कुल की परंपराएं जो है या अपने रीति रिवाज जो है कुल में चलते हैं, वो कुल धर्म है। इस युग में किस तरह से बिहेव करना है वो युग धर्म है। शरीर धर्म है, भूख लगती है खाना है, या प्यास लगी है तो बुझानी है, शरीर धर्म है। तो इस तरह से अनेक धर्म है। हम जो रोल वी प्ले इन आवर लाइफ, एवरी रोल being, whether it is being a wife, whether it is being a mother, being a parent, yeah, you are playing some role in your professional life. So whether it is a king, तो every or minister, सेवक, आप जो भी रोल प्ले करते हैं उसका एक एक अपना अपना अलग धर्म है। This is called as dharma. So in a way one can say that dharma is duty, dharma is responsibility, dharma is the role that you play and everything that comes with it. So going ahead from here, we will take a look at what is Hindu. Yeah. So सबसे पहली बात तो यह है कि भारत में हमें गुरु परंपरा मानते हैं कि एक गुरु है, मेरे गुरु, उनके गुरु. We can go just like that up to the rishis, very ancient rishis. तो हम सब गुरु परंपरा मानते हैं, कर्म सिद्धांत मानते हैं. Whatever work that I do, whatever action that I take, I'm going to get a result. तो ये जो फल है वो ये मुझे आज मिलेगा, कल मिलेगा, कल नहीं तो नेक्स्ट ईयर मिलेगा, नेक्स्ट ईयर नहीं मिला तो 5 साल के बाद मिलेगा, और 5 साल के बाद भी नहीं मिला तो अगले जन्म में जरूर मिलेगा. तो ये जो कर्म सिद्धांत है, ये कर्म सिद्धांत जन्म मृत्यु के चक्र के साथ जुड़ा हुआ है. और द गोल फॉर एवरी पर्सन इन द लाइफ इज टू अचीव मोक्ष, टू ब्रेक दिस जन्म मृत्यु साइकिल and get liberated from it. That is moksha. तो ये जो गुरु परंपरा है, कर्म सिद्धांत है, जन्म मृत्यु चक्र और मोक्ष, इन सब पे बेस्ड वेद है. वेद इन सब को मानते हैं. जैन मत जो है ये भी सब मानते हैं गुरु परंपरा, कर्म सिद्धांत और जन्म मृत्यु चक्र. बौद्ध मत भी ये मानते हैं, सिख धर्म भी ये मानते हैं. इसके साथ साथ आगे जाने के बाद we see that there are so many different devatas in every pantha, yeah, in every sect of India. So we see there are gods in the Shaiva tradition, in the Vaishnava tradition, in the Shakta tradition, so many goddesses as well. There's Ganpati and Saurya. तो ये सारे देवता है. Similarly, we see some devatas in the Jain tradition, in the Buddhist tradition as well. इनके साथ different sects which are related to the Vanvasi people, to the Girivasi people, to the nomads who live their life as nomads. तो ये जो इतने सारे पंथ है, इतने सारे जो देवता है, इतने सारे जो फिलोसफर्स है, सबको मिलके हिंदू बोलते हैं. So when we are going to say, we are going to take a look at the Hindu literature, Hindu dharmic literature, it means we are going to take a look at all of these. Any question? Okay. So we are going to take a look at all of this. And the last word in this is Sahitya. So what we say it is not literature. Literature is associated with letter, that which is written. Sahitya need not be that which is written. Sahitya can be a oral tradition. So what Sahitya means is sahita. जिससे समाज का हित होता है वो साहित्य कहलाता है. What a wonderful definition for Sahitya. So when we are going to look at the Hindu dharmic Sahitya, it means we are going to take a look at the dharma का वर्क्स जो समाज के हित के लिए लिखे गए हैं, उनको हम बोलते हैं हिंदू धार्मिक साहित्य. And now we come to what is this huge body of literature that we have. So this is basically divided into 5 categories, 5 main categories. They are called Shruti, Smriti, Itihas, Purana, and Agama. So we generally use these words, and Shruti, Smriti, Puranokta. We call कि अपना धर्म जो है वो श्रुति स्मृति पुराणोक्त है. So these are the main categories, and along with that there are some smaller categories, which is the darshan, siddhanta, upavedan, vartik, and bhashya, etc. So we'll take a look at all of this. Okay. So we start with Shruti. So Shruti is Ved. And this Vedic literature, it has 4 types of books, 4 genres. So in that, the first part is the Samhita. So Samhita has all the mantra, actual mantra, that is called as a Samhita. But then, with as time goes by, it becomes difficult to understand, and that is exactly what happened. So after some time, an explanation was required, and that explanation came in the form of the Brahman Grantha. So the word Brahman has got nothing to do with the jati. Brahman means that which expands, that which explains. हम कहते हैं ना कि अपने देवता जो है वो ब्रह्म है. So the Brahma expanded to create this whole universe. So that expansion, that means this Brahman. So this Brahman Grantha, they give an explanation. Why to do this particular yajna? Why to say this mantra? Why should one say it 8 times? Why not 9 times? So all these things, and then they also tell things like who did this yajna before. So they'll tell a story of some king who did this yajna before. So these very, very entertaining scriptures. So this explanation is given, and then again some time goes by, and then you will realize कि सोचो एक कोई कविता है और उस कविता का हमको किसी ने बिल्कुल explain करके बता दिया. Sing this line 2 times. This has to be sung 3 times, and then you say this only once and all that. So that Brahman Grantha gives that, but that is not sufficient. We want to know more. We want to know uska bhavartha kya hai. That is what comes in the Aranyak. Aranyak type के जो ग्रंथ है उसमें चिंतन आता है. वेदों में जो संहिता में लिखा हुआ है उस पे चिंतन जो है ये आरण्यक ग्रंथों में आता है. And then why it is called Aranyak? because people used to go to the aranya shanti se baith ke, they are going to do chintan. So we also see a evolution that is happening in amongst the people. Ki jaise people have now started living in towns and cities, and there is much civilization, and there is noise. So you're sitting at home, and then somebody comes in and knocks in and says, "Courier aa gaya hai aapka?" Yeah, something. So उनको जो शांति चाहिए वो टाउन में नहीं मिल रही थी, and that is why they go to the aranyaka. So they go to the aranyaka and शांति से बैठ के they are doing this चिंतन, और उनका जो चिंतन है that has been written in these books. And then going ahead, there are discussions between the students and guru or shishya mein. They have very profound discussion, and they're discussing all these things that have come from the Vedic Samhita. So they're discussing आत्मा क्या है, देह क्या है, ब्रह्म क्या है, आत्मा और ब्रह्म का रिलेशन क्या है, माया क्या है. They are speaking about all these things, and all of these discussions, they have been documented as Upanishad. So these Upanishads tell the philosophy. So these are the 4 types of books that you will see in the Vedic literature. So you already know that there are 4 Ved. तो ऋग्वेद है, यजुर्वेद है, सामवेद है और अथर्ववेद है. तो every Ved has its own Brahman grantha, it has its own Aranyaka grantha, it has its own Upanishad. So Rigved has Aitareya as its Brahman grantha, one more, and then it has its own Aranyaka and it has its own Upanishads. So this is how the Shruti you can understand about it. And before we move to look in detail at the Upanishads, I'll just tell a little bit more about Brahman. So I think this is in the Aitareya Brahman Grantha. ये जो पूरा साहित्य है, when we look at the Vedic ऋग्वेद का जो ऋग्वेद में जो लिखा है वो कविता है. They are songs, and these songs are the songs of day, songs of night, songs of rivers, songs of sun, songs of the early morning, songs of rain. It's very pure, and these are the experiences that anybody can have these kind of experiences. And then ब्राह्मण ग्रंथों में जो मैंने बताया एक्सप्लेनेशन आता है, तो ये जब एक्सप्लेन करते हैं तो दे टेल स्टोरीज. So there is this one story in a Brahman grantha. So I'll tell that story before we move ahead. So you all know this king Harishchandra. So ये Harishchandra Raja hai, he's childless. He doesn't have a child. So he prays to Varun Dev. And he says to Varun Dev, I don't have a child. I want one child. You give me children, I will give you my firstborn. So Varun Dev says, Tathastu. And Harishchandra has, gets one son. So his son is Rohit. So chota bacha hai, baby hai. And one day Varun comes by and he says, give me the child. So Harishchandra says, बहुत ही छोटा है, दांत भी नहीं आए, तो उसको दांत आने दो, फिर मैं आपको बेटा दे दूंगा. So some time goes by, few years go by, and then Varun Dev comes back and he says, give me the baby. So Harishchandra says कि अभी उसके दांत तो निकले हैं, लेकिन ये तो दूध के दांत हैं. Let some more time go by, उसके permanent teeth आने दो, उसके बाद आप लेके जाना. So ऐसे करते करते 10-12 साल निकल जाते हैं. Again Varun Dev comes and he says, देखो अभी बच्चे के तो आ गए हैं, सारे permanent दांत भी आ गए हैं. Hand me the baby. Give me the boy. So Harishchandra then says, उसका एजुकेशन पूरा नहीं हुआ है, वो पढ़ रहा है, तो उसकी पढ़ाई खत्म होने दो, उसके बाद लेके जाना. करते करते उसका एजुकेशन खत्म हो जाता है. He becomes a graduate in Dhanurved and all. He is 20-21 year old, and then one day Varun Dev comes by and says, give me the boy. Now Harishchandra does not have any reason, so he calls up his son रोहित. एंड ही टेल्स दैट रोहित की बिफोर यू वर बॉर्न मैंने ऐसे ऐसे कहा था, सो नाउ आई हैव टू हैंड यू ओवर टू वरुण देव. So what this Rohit says, no, I will not go, he says. And he takes up his bow and arrow and he leaves the home. He leaves the home and he starts walking. He is walking, 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 and he reaches a wood. So in the woods, he is walking. So one day, Indra is going that way and he meets Rohit. So Indra पूछते हैं वरुण रोहित को, what are you doing? तो रोहित कहता है कि मैंने घर द्वार छोड़ दिया है और जैसा रास्ता निकलेगा वैसे मैं जा रहा हूँ, मैं चल रहा हूँ. So Indradev says, very good. Walking is very good for health. You must walk. Charaivati, Charaivati. And he goes away. Again, after some time, Indradev meets him a few days later. Again, he asks, क्या कर रहे हो? रोहित बोलता है, मैं चल रहा हूँ. And Indradev says, बहुत अच्छी बात है. Very good. Walking is very good for health. And ऐसे करते करते ये जो एपिसोड है, they meet each other like 5 or 6 times, and every time Indradev tells a story, and in that story the moral of that story is how walking is good for health. So he says कि देखो तुम चल रहे हो, बहुत अच्छी बात है, इससे तुम्हारा शरीर सुदृढ़ होता है, सुडौल होता है, तुम्हारी मसल्स बहुत स्ट्रांग हो जाती है, तुम्हें डिसीजेस नहीं होते, अगर तुमको कोई डिसीज है तो वो डिसीज भी निकल जाते हैं. इतने सारे फायदे बताए हैं चलने के, एक्सरसाइज करने के इतने सारे फायदे इंद्रदेव ने बताए हैं. कितनी अच्छी बात है. दीज आर द स्टोरीज विच शुड बी इन द जिम्स. तो इस तरह से ये जो ब्राह्मण ग्रंथ है, इवन आरण्यक एंड उपनिषद, दे आर फिल्ड विद स्टोरीज, दे आर वेरी एंटरटेनिंग. कि ऐसे लंबा मुंह करके बहुत सीरियसली ये पढ़ना है, ऐसी बात नहीं है. यू कैन रियली एंजॉय द पोएट्री ऑफ ऋग्वेद, द स्टोरीज ऑफ ब्राह्मण ग्रंथ, एंड देन वी कम टू उपनिषद. तो उपनिषद जो है ये कई सारे हैं. देयर आर मोर देन 200 उपनिषद. उनमें से जो 10 उपनिषद है, दे आर कंसिडर्ड टू बी द मेन उपनिषद. तो ईशकेन, कठ, मुंडक, मांडुक्य, ऑल ऑफ देम दे आर द 10 principal उपनिषद. इनके साथ साथ देर आर सम धार्मिक उपनिषद ऑल्सो, कि जिसमें शैव उपनिषद है, वैष्णव उपनिषद है, कई उपनिषद राम के नाम से है, एक उपनिषद सीता के नाम से है. सो तो ये आई थिंक इट्स प्रोबेबली इन द राम तापनीय उपनिषद की जो मंत्र है, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, इट कम्स फ्रॉम दिस उपनिषद. एंड ये कली संतरण उपनिषद है, बिल्कुल छोटा है, 5 मंत्र है उसमें. तो दैट ऑल्सो कम्स विद द स्टोरी. So the story for Kali Santaran Upanishad goes by like this, one day Narad, he is feeling very sorry for people like us. All of us, we are living in Kali Yuga. और हम क्या है कि घर में आने के बाद हाथ पैर धोते नहीं, कपड़े बदलते नहीं, सुबह उठ के नहाने के बाद पूजा नहीं करते, यज्ञ नहीं करते, तपश्चर्या नहीं करते, कुछ नहीं करते. नारद जी is feeling very sorry for people like us. He goes to ब्रह्मदेव and he says कि देखो ये कलयुग के जो लोग हैं, इनका कैसे होगा? How will they get moksha? He is very worried. So he asks Brahmadev, what should they do? So Brahmadev says that in Kali Yuga, people don't need to do yajna, people don't need to do any tapasya.
काजल जी अपने आप को म्यूट करें.
चालक म्हणजे वाढलेलंच असतं.
संजीवनी जी काजल जी को म्यूट करते हैं.
टीसीएस
म्यूट पे कर देंगे सब. एडमिन क्या आप सबको म्यूट कर सकते हैं? So Brahmadev understands कि ये कली युग में कैसे होगा इन सब लोगों का. So he says कली युग में all that people need to do is do नामस्मरण. They just need to do jap. And then he gives one mantra. So this mantra is in Kali Santarana Upanishad, which is Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare. So actually, even without knowing, we know quite a lot of prayers, quite a lot of mantra from the Upanishads, from the Brahman Grantha, and from the Vedic Samhita as well. And then along with this, there are some very interesting Upanishads. There is one Garbha Upanishad. So it speaks about how the fetus develops in the womb. There is Rasa Upanishad, which speaks about chemistry. Then there is Allopanishad, which was probably written sometime around Akbar's time. And it's about Allah. And there is Shailopanishad, which is a translation of a lecture which was given by Jesus Christ, and it is documented in the Bible. So uska translation hai Shailopanishad. So this is a Vedic literature, which includes the 4 different types of books: the Samhita, the Brahman Grantha, the Aranyaka, and the Upanishad. So from here we will go ahead to the we will go ahead to Smriti Sahitya. But before that, we need to take a look at one more thing, which is the Vedanga Sahitya. So ये सारे वेद तो हो गए, लेकिन ये जो वेद है, ये जो वेद के जो यज्ञ करने हैं, उसके लिए there more knowledge is required. So what is this knowledge? The first among them is the Shiksha. So this Shiksha Grantha, they speak about the Uchcharan Shastra. So they speak about phonetics and phonology. Sorry. So they speak about, what are the different sounds that can come from the vocal box, vocal instrument of humans. There are 65 books, 65 different books dedicated only to Uchcharan Shastra. And then now that you can, इतने सारे उच्चार आप कर सकते हैं, तो वो उच्चार एक साथ डाल के, एक के बाद एक डाल के शब्द बनते हैं. तो ये शब्द का मीनिंग क्या है? They don't go to the meaning. They actually go to the root of that word. And this is given in the Nirukta book, the book Nirukta. So it tells the root of all the words. Like for example, it says, Dev, shabda ka root kya hai? So the Yaskacharya, he says that Dev comes from the root Div, which means light. Diva bolte hain na hum, Diva, Diya. So Dev comes from the same root. And it means light, it means source of energy, it means knowledge. So हम जब बोलते हैं देव, तो देव का ये सब मीनिंग आता है. या फिर he speaks about another word, let's take शरीर. So शरीर, he says it means that जो क्षण क्षण जिसका wear and tear होता है, that is शरीर. So इस तरह से रूट तक जाके सब all the words which are there in the Ved, उनका meaning दिया है निरुक्त में. Now you have words, you know the meaning of those words. ये सब words, how do you put them together to make a sentence? तो इसका जो science है, this science is given in the grammar. So Panini's grammar gives, how to form sentences, how to form meaningful sentences so that everybody can understand. And Panini has done such a great work that a sentence which has been constructed using Panini's grammar 2000, 3000 years ago, even now, people can understand it. So somebody in Kashmir has written a Sanskrit book. Somebody sitting in Tamil Nadu 1,000 years later can still understand it because the science of making sentences, science of making meaningful sentences. Of course, just by speaking, all these gadya, usme maza nahi aata. We have to have poem. And then again, there is the science of poetry. And this science of poetry is called as the Chanda Shastra. So it's meters, different types of meters. कि जैसे गायत्री मीटर है या श्लोक है या अनुष्टुभ है, ये सारे छंद है. एंड पिंगल नाम के जो ऋषि हैं उन्होंने ये छंद शास्त्र लिखा हुआ है. सो दिस इज द साइंस ऑफ मेकिंग पोएट्री. कि आजकल की जैसी पोएट्री होती है वैसे ये वैदिक पोएट्री नहीं है कि कुछ भी लिख दिया, बस वो सेंटेंस ब्रेक करके कुछ ऊपर लिखा कुछ नीचे लिखा बन गया पोएट्री. ये बात नहीं है. वेरी प्रिसाइज रूल्स फॉर मेकिंग पोएट्री. कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल श्लोक में होता है दैट यू हैव एक श्लोक जो होता है इट इज मेड ऑफ 4 पार्ट्स एंड एवरी पार्ट हैज 8 लेटर्स. 8 अक्षर होते हैं. दैट्स इट. So that's a Chanda Shastra. Now, everything that is related to the Vedic literature can be done. हम उच्चार कर सकते हैं. We understand what is written. We can make meaningful sentences. We also understand the meter and all those things. But उसमें जो यज्ञ बताए गए हैं वो यज्ञ पर्टिकुलर टाइम पे करने हैं. जैसे यज्ञ जो है वो करना है पूर्णिमा के दिन या अमावस्या के दिन या फिर सोल्स्टाइस को. नाउ यू कैनॉट सिट देयर लुकिंग एट द स्काई एंड एट 12 o'clock से कि हाँ टुडे इज सोल्स्टाइस सो ये जो यज्ञ है वी शुड डू इट टुडे. दैट कैन नॉट बी डन because most of these yajna start early in the morning and they need so much preparation that has to be done earlier. So looking at the sky, one should be able to tell when the solstice is going to come, when the equinox is going to come, when the rutu is going to change, when Purnima is going to occur, when Amavas is going to occur. So to do all of this, Jyotish का अभ्यास जरूरी है. ज्योति इज द लाइट्स इन द स्काई. तो उनका अभ्यास सूर्य चंद्र नक्षत्र ऑल ऑफ देम व्हिच आर देयर इन द स्काई, उनका जो स्टडी है दैट इज द ज्योतिष शास्त्र एंड दैट वाज रिटन बाय लगध ऋषि. एंड देन देयर इज द कल्प सूत्र. वी विल कम टू कल्प सूत्र व्हिच इज बेसिकली इंस्ट्रक्शन मैनुअल. आपको घर में जो यज्ञ है, जो सिंपल यज्ञ होते हैं वो घर के यज्ञ वो करने हैं तो फॉलो दिस इंस्ट्रक्शन मैनुअल. आपको अगर वैदिक ग्रंथ वैदिक यज्ञ करने, बड़े बड़े यज्ञ होते हैं ये, जैसे अश्वमेध यज्ञ करना है, वाजपेय यज्ञ करना है, देन यू फॉलो दिस अदर इंस्ट्रक्शन मैनुअल. एंड देन अमॉन्ग्स दिस द मोस्ट स्पेशल इज द शुल्ब सूत्र. सो शुल्ब मीन्स क्या बोलते हैं डोरी. So it is not just a rope, it is a measuring tape. And with this measuring tape, all the geometry which was required for a yajna was carried out. So for example, every yajna, it requires 3 different Agni Kunda. One is circular, one is square, one is semicircular. But the condition is that all of them should have same area. So these are the questions which are tackled in the Shulba Sutra. Squaring the circle, circling the square, like, creating a square, right angle triangles, Pythagoras theorem, all of these things come in these Shulba Sutra. So, यहाँ तक हमने जो भी देखा, this part is called as the Shruti. This is the Vedic Sahitya. Okay. And from here, now we go into Smriti. So Smriti is also called as the Dharma Sutra. Okay, and these Dharma Sutra, quite a lot of them. Manu Smriti hai, Devil Smriti hai, Gautam Smriti hai, so many. In fact, when the British came to India, there were more than 30 different Smritis which were used all over India. So Smriti is something like the constitution, which tells the rules. These are the things that you do, these are the things that you don't do. If you do the things that shouldn't be done, these are the punishments meant for that. And this is how tax should be levied. These are the duties of the king. All these things come in the Smritis. So, jaise constitution में we can have amendments and we can change the laws. Similarly, these Smriti Grantha, they were open for changes. So there were many versions also of all of these Smritis. So if you, for example, take a look at the Manusmriti, you will see that some part of it is very old, some part is not that old, it comes from the Middle Ages, and some part is pretty new. So you will see all these layers in these Smriti Grantha. So the basic thing is the Smriti Grantha are changeable because based on time, so many things change, and you have to keep the laws and the regulations updated according to it. So these are always changing. Okay. So these are the Smriti. Now we come to Itihas. Shruti, Smriti, Itihas. So Itihas, there is only two Grantha, Ramayana and Mahabharata. And they tell about the historic things which have happened recently. So Valmiki ji writes a Ramayana, everything that has happened recently in the life of Ram, and Vyas Muni writes the Mahabharata. So one thing which we have been told is that not everybody understands the Shruti, not everybody understands the Ved. तो उनके लिए एक्सप्लेनेशन के तौर पे ब्राह्मण ग्रंथ लिखे, वो भी नहीं समझते, उनके लिए उपनिषद लिखे, वो भी नहीं समझते, उनके लिए स्मृति में लिखा गया, वो भी नहीं समझते, उनके लिए इतिहास लिखा गया. So if you want to understand Ved, read Ramayana and Mahabharata. It's going to tell you the same things. And one more thing which I like to comment over here is the size of Ramayana and Mahabharata. Ramayana is 25,000 shlok and Mahabharata is 1 lakh shlok. So how big is 1 lakh shlok? So you take so many other epics. Gilgamesh hai, Bible लीजिए, Quran लीजिए, Greek epics ले लीजिए, Iliad and Odyssey, Paradise Lost, Divine Comedy. Put them all in one basket. And you'll see that Mahabharata is still longer than all of them. In fact, Mahabharata is 3 times as big as War and Peace. It's a very huge grantha and it covers so many things. So now we move ahead to Purana. Now, Puran are divided into 2 categories. One is the Mahapuran, one is the Upapuran. So Mahapuran are the main Puran. There are 18 main Puran. So these are the names that you can see on the screen. Matsya, Kurma, Varaha and Bhagavad Puran and Narad Puran, so many of them. So these are the 18 main Puran. इनका size जो है, this is 4 lakh shlok. 18 महापुराण जो है, उनकी total कर दी जाए तो it is 4 lakh shlok. Huge body of literature. And there are 18 Upapuran. And you go ahead, there are more different types of Puran. There are Sthala Puran, Kula Puran. So one example of Sthala Puran is Ayodhya Mahatmya, which is included in the Skanda Puran. So this particular document was used in the Ram Janmabhoomi case to establish the location of Ram Janmabhoomi. And it was written like, 10th century, in 10th century, before Babur came to India. So this is like, these are the things that we can get from Puran. Again, all of this literature, the Vedic literature, the Itihas, that is Ramayana and Mahabharata, and the Puran, these are full of stories. They are very, very entertaining. And one more very important thing is that whatever has been told in Ved, that is the same thing Ramayana will tell, same thing Mahabharata will tell, same thing Puran will also tell. Only the difference is the medium. So like for example, say in the Vedic literature, in the Rigveda, what is told is Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. So the Sat is one, but it is known by different names. This is what the Rigveda says. The Puran tells the same thing. Puran says there is one Vishnu, and from one Vishnu comes the Dashavatar of Vishnu. Same thing. Ek Sat hai, but that Sat is known by different names. Ek Dev hai, he is known by different names. Only the thing is, Puran tell it in a form of a story and make it so entertaining. Let's take one more example. The Ishavasya Upanishad. Ishavasya Upanishad says, it starts with this Ishavasyam idam sarvam. In everybody, it is the Ishwar who resides. Ishwar resides in everything. Yeah. So this is given in the form of a sutra in Upanishad. Now what Puran does is, Puran tells a story, lovely story. Puran says, there was once a king, Hiranyakashipu, and he had a son named Prahlad. And Prahlad was a bhakt of Narayan. He went on chanting the name of Narayan. And this Hiranyakashipu was enraged by that. He asked Prahlad to stop, he didn't. So he tried to kill Prahlad in so many ways. He tried to drown him, he tried to burn him, he did so many things, but still, Prahlad ko kuch bhi nahi hua. So then Hiranyakashipu says to Prahlad, who is it who saves you? So Prahlad says, it's Vishnu, my Narayan, who saves me. Where is he? So Prahlad says, he is everywhere. He is in me, he is in you. He is in everything that is over here. So then Hiranyakashipu gets very angry and he says, is he in this pillar? And Prahlad says, yes, he is in the pillar too. Hiranyakashipu जोर से एक लात मारता है और उस पिलर में से नरसिंह आते हैं. ये जो कहानी है, it is telling the same thing what Upanishad have told. Upanishad say, Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Puran tells this lovely story of Prahlad, only to drive that point home कि ईश्वर सब जगह है. ईश्वर का वास सब जगह है. सबके अंदर ईश्वर है. This is what the Puran do. And it's like, again, it is just full of stories. There is one more type of literature which is called as the Agam literature. And this Agam literature is basically, it speaks about the traditions, it speaks about the Upasana. There are lots, almost like, more than 500 Agam books. And these 500 plus whatever books, they speak like things about like, कैसे उपासना करते हैं, जो साधक है उसकी दिनचर्या कैसी होनी चाहिए, अगर मंदिर बनवाना है तो हाउ दैट मंदिर शुड बी बिल्ट, मंदिर की साइज क्या है उस पे डिपेंड गर्भगृह कितना बड़ा होना चाहिए, गर्भगृह के साइज पे डिपेंडेंट मूर्ति की साइज है, मूर्ति को कितने हाथ, मूर्ति की चिन्ह क्या है, मूर्ति के हाथ में क्या होना चाहिए. All these details, very many details are given in these Agam Grantha. Among this, इसके जो शाक्त ग्रंथ है, Agam Shakta Grantha, they are called as the Tantra. And another name for Ved is Nigama. So Agam and Nigama, these two words also come together. So this is what they mean. These are the main categories of the Hindu dharmic literature. And we'll just take a very quick look at the other categorization of the dharmic literature. So the first part in that is the darshan. So there are two types of darshan, Astik darshan, Nastik darshan. So Astik darshan is those darshan जो वेद को प्रमाण मानते हैं. Okay, it is not जो वेद को प्रमाण मानते हैं. So उसमें न्याय, सांख्य, वैशेषिक, योग जो है पतंजल योग, all this योग दिवस and everything, it comes from these Astik darshan. And इसमें there is one पूर्व मीमांसा which gives which speaks about every sentence given in the Samhita and the Brahman Grantha. Okay, so that is the Karma Kanda of Vedic literature, which is related to Yajna. That is the Purva Mimamsa. And the second one, which is the last one, which is the Uttar Mimamsa, it speaks about the Jnana Kanda, which is Aranyaka and Upanishad. So Aranyaka and Upanishad, it is mainly about Chintan and philosophy. So it is the Jnana Kanda. So these are these are the 6 Astik Darshan. They basically speak about, try to give the answers to questions like, who am I? जीव कौन है? जीव का जगत से क्या नाता है? और जीव, जगत और ईश्वर का इन तीनों में क्या नाता है? So they speak about all these things. There are 3 Nastik darshan. So Nastik means they do not take Ved as a praman. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि वो वेद नकारते हैं या वेद झूठ है ऐसे बोलते हैं. नो, it just means they don't take Ved as the praman. So there is the Charvak darshan, which is basically about materialistic. कि खाओ पियो मौज करो and you are here. Who knows कि मृत्यु के बाद क्या होगा? तो यहाँ पे आए हो, enjoy your life. That is the Charvak darshan. Then there is the Bauddha darshan and there is the Jain darshan. Now you will understand कि ये जो बौद्ध दर्शन है, जैन दर्शन है, इनके सारे जो लिटरेचर आते हैं, सारा जो साहित्य आता है, you can see it falls in this particular क्या बोलते हैं हम, हिंदू धर्म साहित्य, हिंदू धार्मिक साहित्य के अंदर ये सब आ जाता है. Sikh darshan comes very late, so it's not, I'm not included it here. Then there are Siddhanta type of books. So Siddhanta, ये खगोल शास्त्र के सिद्धांत है. So this is basically science. They speak about different types of sciences. कि इसमें mathematics भी है, इसमें astronomy भी है, all of this, and there are so many books on each of these branches of science. I'm so happy today is the National Science Day and we are taking a look at so many books which are about science and philosophy of science. So there is Upaved as well. So Upaved is the knowledge which we use in our day-to-day life. So there is Ayurveda, there is Dhanurveda. Gandharva Ved is related to music, drama, songs. Sthapatya Ved is architecture and sculpture and every kind of building. So whether it is like, you are going to build a bridge, where you are going to build residential homes, you are going to build temples, all of it comes under, or even if you are going to build ships, that comes under Sthapatya Ved. Then there is Arthashastra. We all know about Kautilya's Arthashastra. So these are all Upaved. And beyond this, there are also very specific branches like Vriksha Yurved, which speaks about the health and care of plants. And there is Gaja Yurved, which is only for elephants. आजकल क्या है कि there is only one veterinary doctor who will treat all types of animals. But Indian tradition has been हाथी का डॉक्टर अलग है, हॉर्स का डॉक्टर अलग है, गायों का डॉक्टर अलग है. So these are the Upaved. This huge body of literature, it needs somebody to make a commentary upon it so that we can understand it. And then great thinkers, they have written commentaries on it. उन्होंने जो भाष्य लिखा है, मेन जो इनमें है वो है आदि शंकराचार्य, जिन्होंने भाष्य लिखा है. And he says, he puts forth the Advait idea, the Advait philosophy, that I am one with the nature. That is the Advait philosophy. Then Madhvacharya, he has also written bhashya on the, इन तीनों पे भाष्य लिखना पड़ता है. The 10 principal Upanishad, the Brahma Sutra or the Uttar Mimamsa and Bhagavad Gita. इन तीनों पे ये जो सारे आचार्य हैं अपने, इन्होंने भाष्य लिखा है. मतलब they have written their own interpretation on it, and based on it they have put forth different philosophies like Dvait, Advait and Vishishtadvait and all that. वेदों पे भी भाष्य किया है। ये आचार्य जो है ये तो दे स्पीक अबाउट द ज्ञान कांड ओनली, लेकिन वेदों पे जो भाष्य किया है वो सायणाचार्य ने किया है। सो दिस इज समटाइम इन 14th सेंचुरी एंड वेरी अर्ली ऑन मीमांसा पे भाष्य किया था, उस पे कुमारिल भट्ट ने वार्तिक लिखा था। सो वार्तिक इज अगेन एक्सप्लेनेशन गिवन टू द भाष्य। सो कुमारिल भट्ट का फोकस जो है इट इज ऑन द कर्म कांड, and if you take a look at what Adi Shankaracharya is doing is his focus is on the Jnana Kanda, and you will know that very famous vaad jo hua hai between Adi Shankaracharya and Kumaril Bhatt's disciple Mandan Mishra. उनमें जो वाद है वो कर्म कांड वर्सेस ज्ञान कांड, इन दोनों का वो वाद हुआ है. This is the overall structure of the dharmic sahitya that we have, and so इसमें हमने इतना सब कुछ देखा है, like you know there are not hundreds, there are thousands of books, thousands of them. So इसकी summary क्या है? Yeah, we are interested in the summary. What does all of this teach? So if we take a look at the summary of Ved, they tell us Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahma. Tattvamasi. You too are that Brahma. And Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Sab yahan pe Brahma hi hai. This is the summary of Ved. अगर हम अंदर झांक के देखते हैं, so we will know we are nothing but Brahma. Then comes the summary. पुराण क्या बताते हैं? पुराणिक साहित्य तो इतना बड़ा है, 4 lakh श्लोक्स in just the Mahapuran. So this shlok says Ashtadasha Puraneshu, the 18 Puran, व्यासस्य वचनद्वयम्. व्यास सिर्फ 2 वचन बताते हैं सुखी होने के लिए. क्या वचन है? परोपकार पुण्याय पापाय परपीडना. कि अगर आपको सुखी होना हो तो दूसरों पे उपकार करो और दूसरों को पीड़ा मत देना. Such a wonderful thing. The question is, मैं कैसे सुखी बन जाऊंगा? And the answer is, ये मैं का फोकस निकालो. Look at others. परोपकार करो और किसी को पीड़ा मत दो. You will become सुखी. Summary of Mahabharat. What should I do? है ना, हमको कुछ भी करना है तो हमको लगता है कि धर्म क्या बोलता है, धर्म में क्या लिखा है, शास्त्र में क्या लिखा है. We think like you know we should go and start looking into the books. लेकिन भीष्म कहते हैं कि धर्म का जो तत्व है वो बहुत गुह्य है. It is very difficult to understand. हमको अगर कुछ है ना कि कुछ हमको काम करना है तो हम कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन निकाल के नहीं बैठते कि क्या बताया है. Yeah, because all that it gives is guidelines. It doesn't give in black and white what you can do, what you cannot do. Same thing with all these books that we have, they are guidelines. So the answer is, Bhishma says, Mahajano yena gataha sapanthaha. Mahajana जिस रास्ते से जाते हैं उस रास्ते से जाओ. That is dharma. And who are the Mahajan? अपने लिए महाजन है राम and Krishna. So we have Ramayana, we have Mahabharat. Read these stories and we will know what one should do, in what situation what one should do. Now follow your leader. Yeah, so Mahajana, follow the Mahajana. And then this almost last shlok from Bhagavad Gita. This is told by Bhagwan to Arjun. We are all Arjun. And भगवान, हम गीता पढ़ते हैं तो भगवान हमारे लिए ही बात कर रहे हैं. And he is a friend, philosopher, and yeah, look at these relations here. So Bhagwan says, Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. I am telling you all of this because you are my sakha. So such a wonderful thing, you know, you are my sakha. You are my friend. Because you are my friend, I am going to tell you this. Another thing that Bhagavan says in Gita is, भक्तास्ते अतीव मे प्रियाः, मुझे मेरे भक्त बहुत प्रिय है. So a very loving God who is like a friend, who is a philosopher. मानो वो अपने कंधे पे हाथ रख के हमको ये सब बता रहे हैं, और ये सब बताने के बाद so much literature, so much, thousands of book, a library. What we are told, ये सब साहित्य बताता है, मैंने जो कहना था वो कह दिया है. Now you reflect upon it and do as you wish. यथेच्छसि तथा कुरु. You do as you wish. So it's such a wonderful thing, you know. हम अपने बच्चों को भी बताते हैं तो ऐसे नहीं कह पाते. हम बच्चों को बोलते, डांटते हैं, हम बच्चों को बोलते हैं कि मैंने बताया ना ये करना चाहिए. Nowhere in our religious books ऐसे कहा है. Nowhere. मैं भगवान हूं, मैं बता रहा हूं, तुम सुनो. ये भाषा ही ऐसी नहीं है. भाषा है तुम मेरे सखा हो, तुम मेरे प्रिय मित्र हो, इसलिए मैं तुम्हें ये सब जो जीवन का रहस्य है ये बताता हूँ. लिसन टू इट, रिफ्लेक्ट अपॉन इट, थिंक अपॉन इट, अप्लाई योर ओन माइंड, अप्लाई योर बुद्धि, एंड देन डू एज यू विश. So this I shall stop. These are my couple of books which are available on kalapushpa.com. So if you ever visit there, you can take a look.
It has, thank you so much, ma'am. It has really dilated our visions towards the Hindu Bharatiya Sahitya. Definitely, we all have gained so much. And the way you have delivered, especially through the stories, it has surely been imbibed in our minds and souls. Thank you once again, ma'am.